Why art education is important in elementary school. Personally, art started as a way to escape reality when I did not want to be in my reality. As a way to shut myself out from the rest of the world when I did not want to hear or see anything that was going on around me. Even as a small child, art had this ability on me, and it kept my surroundings from having more of an effect on me. Art can have this effect on children, as well as many other beneficial and positive qualities, which essentially makes art an indispensable resource for a school. The art classroom is one where a student can learn about art, but at the same time learn vocabulary, writing, social issues, society, science, and even math. In an art classroom, students are asked to think differently than in other areas of a school. This helps build their cognitive skills as well as their critical thinking skills. Students can also learn other skills in the art classroom, such as creativity, problem solving, and critical thinking, all of which, according to 21st century skills, are skills that employees are looking for from their employees. Art can easily be used to help support or connect information from other content areas. For example, vocabulary and language can be hard for students who have a learning disability, but art can be a way for students to learn visually. Take, for instance, a lesson that asks a kindergartner to describe a rabbit, and they use the words round, fluffy, and soft. You then ask them to create a rabbit using different shapes. Now, not only can this child visually represent these different words, but they understand the words and can put them into a relatable context. This is something that children are not exposed to in the regular classrooms, yet the process of making a visual representation has many effects on the learning of these students. This can be key for students who have not learned English yet, who speak English as a second language, or who are dyslexic, or who have any other type of learning disability. The ability to construct images is key because students can see the visuals instead of just using letters, phonics, and language. This basic example is not just limited to reading or vocabulary, but all other content areas, including science, math, communication, writing, and social studies. All of these can be integrated into an art curriculum. The art classroom asks students to think in a different way than other subjects that are taught in a school. Most classes teach convergent thinking, which in a cliche means thinking inside the box. With this type of thinking, students are given guidelines, procedures, or instructions to solve a problem. They are given the solutions, and then students have to choose the best answer. In the art class, students are not asked to find the best solution of the ones that are given to them. Instead, they are asked to find a solution. Students are given materials or a broad idea to construct their own solution with. This type of thinking is referred to as divergent thinking, or thinking outside of the box. In order to approach a problem from multiple angles, students need to know how to think in both ways. However, without art, students would not get nearly as much exposure to divergent thinking as they would with art. Without art, students will not get as much practice coming up with their own solutions. Instead, they are given their solutions and told to choose one. With this being said, in the real world, students are more likely to be faced with problems that require divergent thinking because the solutions are not always going to be given to them. Divergent thinking is also linked with problem-solving skills and creativity, which are also promoted in the art classroom. Every time a student starts making art, they are using problem solving. This is because there is no one right answer in art. Unlike other subject areas such as math or science, when an art teacher gives a class a project, the final product is not going to be the same for every single student. It's going to be completely different. This is because each student faces different problems and they each had to make choices on how to solve that problem. For instance, a student who does not have the dexterity to cut well with scissors can choose to rip their paper. This student had a problem and they were able to take steps to come up with a solution to the problem. This goes hand in hand with creativity because by allowing students to figure out their own solutions, they are given the opportunity to create to think creatively and take risks. This opportunity is not one that often presents itself in other classrooms because, as mentioned, most other subject areas only have one procedure or one answer. Take, for instance, a math class. Students are taught a procedure, then asked to find solutions to the given problem. There is no problem solving or thinking that is directed by the student. The student is just going through the procedure they were taught to get the final answer, which leads to no opportunity for creativity. Every single student is thinking in the way that the teacher taught them, and they are all in search of the same answer using the same procedure. On the other hand, in an art classroom, students are given materials and taught how to handle them. The final project is different for everyone, and the processes that the students went through will also be slightly different for every student. As I grew older, I became known as the smart kid in my school. I was always on the honor roll and received straight A's. I even graduated high school with college credit in calculus. However, I chose to stick with art because it was the one subject that really challenged me. Art has made me think for myself and come up with solutions unlike any other subject. Art has taught me to think differently, creatively, and how to problem solve. Art has offered me countless of opportunities and experiences that other subjects have not. These are skills and experiences that every student can benefit from in any elementary school. As Elliot Eisner states in his book, the possibilities for growth in and through the arts cease only when we do. The possibilities of art are truly endless, which makes art an indispensable resource in any school.